Folks. I'm coming to you here on Saturday evening at about 7 o'clock, and something I've been thinking about for quite a while now, going into next week with temperatures that are going to be deadly for the unsheltered. And right now, I think there's 200 beds available when the temperature falls below 32 degrees. And even if it's a weekend, I think on cold weather at the campers on West Chestnut are open, the Eden Village campers. But a lot of those little trailers, they don't have any heat in them because they're, I think, basically run on like 12 volt. Maybe some of the newer kind of shed looking buildings they have are heated, I'm not for sure. But anyway, people get out of the wind and the cold there. But basically, we're heading into the holiday season, and if people believe Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ, I just wonder why we live in a city with over 400 churches, and we only have a handful of churches that are open for overnight shelter, and they're not big enough to house all we need. I don't understand why. Let's say maybe Dream Center, North Point Church, has a huge gymnasium. I don't know why some of these churches can't be Christ-like and open up their doors during these deadly cold nights. Obviously, homelessness is a huge thing. I don't know. I don't foresee it being anywhere in the future to solve it, but damn it, we wouldn't leave our pets out on a night like this, and we shouldn't leave the unsheltered out on nights like we're going to have next week. I think it was 2020. Connecting Grounds was able to collect up like $60,000 to put people in weekly stay or hotels for like a week. Of course, things got damaged. People overstayed, did things they weren't supposed to do. But the bottom line is now that it's so bad for people out there that all those hotels are booked up with people living in them. There won't be any openings, even if you could afford to get them in there. But dang it, we shouldn't have to afford to put people in there. We've got buildings in this town that we all pay taxes on that they could open up. I mean, if you're not going to house people in prisons or super prisons or whatever, supermax prisons outside, then why, yeah, a lot of these people probably do have stuff pending. For example, $1,000 trespassing tickets where we're criminalizing people basically for being poor. It's the war on the poor, and it rages on. You get people in the system, and they can't get out. They don't have the money to pay the fines. They don't have transportation to get to court dates or even a calendar to look at. It's not working what we're doing. We build a bigger prison, and then Arnott's solution is let's just fill them up. So if you're going to one of these super churches and they want to have access to your account to know that you're giving the 10% or whatever they want in their coffers, I think you should challenge them to see where that money goes, what they do with it. If it's your money and you're putting it in and going to their church, who are they helping? Where does that money go from your super church? And then now we got satellite churches, so it's one pastor being played to screens all over, and they have these huge buildings, but they can't open their doors to anybody. I just think it's sad. And the National Weather Service, I think, is going to maybe lift some of the restrictions for fire codes or something like that, because we're going to have to house some people inside. There's going to be some minus temperatures, I think, even during the day, and certainly at night. I can tell you from being out last night, by the time I got home, the wind had died down, but there wasn't near as many people on the streets. I didn't see as many people to serve because they were hunkered down somewhere trying to stay warm. I mean, this will be one of the nights where I think you'll be ready to throw a rock through a window so you can go to jail and have a place to stay. It's just can't go on. People in tents with little bitty propane heaters or candles, or these are just not going to be nights to be staying in a tent, you know. So I hope somebody would challenge their church. Why aren't we opening up a cold weather shelter? I mean, there's some churches. There's a few, I think, maybe Unitarian Church or maybe like a Brentwood church, but there is one that lets couples come in. There's some with pets. But bottom line, you don't really want to leave your pet somewhere to freeze to death, and you know you want to go with your pet to where you're going. So maybe people could kick that around to their churches here in the season of the birth of Christ, and see if they might help people out a little bit. Like I said, people can get by a little easier in the summer. It is awful hot. That's why we try to keep them hydrated, lots of water, Gatorades, whatever. But this cold, last season, I think there was a guy that stayed at the respite house, the Connecting Grounds. He'd been out, and I'd encountered him out at a camp, and he was walking through the Walmart, and I guess he had frostbite so bad it ended up getting all the way to his knee, you know, and he had to get a prosthetic leg. So, like I say, awful scary, and I hope people will come together and definitely try to bring in hot hands. Or I think the Connecting Grounds has got a Christmas drive going for Long Johns. Maybe they come across a sale where some good warm ones were like $2 a piece. But yeah, like I said, I just want to encourage people maybe to keep in their car like some packs that, like I've got on a stocking cap now. My friends have put together some that had gloves and like Blistex and hand sanitizer, hats, gloves, and like I say, hot hands would be great. This is the time of year where you could maybe go to McDonald's or somewhere and get a $5 gift card, and that way people could get in and maybe have some coffee, a little bite to eat and get out of the weather, maybe charge their phone up for a minute. So like I say, man, it's weighing heavy on me just thinking about the weather we're coming up on. And I know, like, Connecting Grounds just doesn't scramble, you know, the night before. They've been, you know, planning well before it even started to get cold of what their winter plan is. But I can tell you, I was over there today, and the shelves in the back doesn't have very many blankets, and their food shelves were looking pretty bare. Now, they go out on outreach, and they will give out blankets, but they can't give out all their stuff in one night, you know, so they try to hang on to stuff. But yeah, if you have old blankets or sleeping bags or anything, that'd be nice. They could sure use them over there. I don't know how we're going to get through this, but I think we can with the right people come together on this, and just pray that somebody will have some shelter for them and be able to get them inside. And maybe some people will shuttle people to. I think they've used city buses before. I think Richard and Teresa Osborne of Osborne's Karate Studio, I think they have shuttled some people to shelters. I know they have a van, but I think their bigger bus is maybe broke down. I didn't see it over there when I was over there the other day, but surely somebody will have you know, a 15-passenger van or something and try to get some of these people to shelter. There is a count coming up, kind of like a census, I guess, of how many homeless people, and you have 24 hours to do it. I think Connecting Grounds are tasked with that, and they will stay over 24 hours that night and try to shuttle people over, but we need to get an accurate count. The city of Springfield still tries to say, I think, that there's like 200 homeless people or less. No way. I don't even think 3,000 is close to a number, and it's hard to know how many people are couch surfing or living in garages or cars. It's just hard to get a good, accurate count, but they have a pretty good idea of how many people they come in contact with when they're out on outreach at night, cold weather outreach. And I saw them going out earlier tonight, and they're out any night that it's below 40 degrees. And their staff does get tired. You know, they ended up getting sick. They're out in the weather, and they could sure use some people to sign up and volunteer to go out on cold weather outreach. I do warn you, it is hard to see people where they're at on the street, trying to get in behind a convenience store or brush pile or somewhere to get out of the wind, that don't have anything. Might be new to homelessness, haven't went through a winter before, and they have no idea how to survive. So when you go home and sleep, it's hard to put it out of your mind that people are out there on the streets, you know. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they could make better choices or whatever. I know quite a few I've encountered lately that had jobs and just fallen on hard times and medical problems and ended out on the street. They were not working because they were taking care of their significant other, and then it just snowballed, and there they are out on the streets. I found a couple that I'd kind of lost contact with. Found out where they were camping now. The woman has MS pretty bad. I don't think she really has any intestines. She has a port. She should have some kind of special diet. I think the boyfriend had fell asleep underneath like an awning and woke up, and people taking his stuff and his boots and a while back. So they've definitely had a rough go. I think they're trying to get into some emergency housing right now. Like I say, her medical condition is bad enough that she definitely does not need to be sleeping in the woods or in a tent. So there again, I just hope people will put it to their church and plead with them. Could we open up some temporary shelters when it gets under this, or other ones are full? I definitely think there's some gymnasiums that would be able to gather all they can gather up off the streets to get out of the weather. So I hope somebody will come up with a solution.